Hello Army, this is the first episode of my first FF. I need your support to grow more in this field. Please subscribe and support my YouTube channel. Also comment down my mistakes and alterations you would like me to do in the upcoming episodes. At 6:30 a.m., the house was usually a symphony of bustling activity. The familiar clang of plates, the cheerful clatter of glasses, and the hurried whispers of breakfast preparations typically filled the kitchen, a chaotic prelude to their busy day. But this morning, a different kind of calm settled over the space. The dominant sound was the steady, quiet hum of the refrigerator, a stark contrast to the usual morning cacophony. Jin had taken charge of the kitchen. His hands moved with a practiced ease, honed over years of caring for his younger brothers, flipping pancakes on the griddle with precision, the scent of vanilla and warm batter already filling the air. He hummed a soft, almost meditative tune, enjoying the rare solitude. Suddenly, the stillness was broken by a small, sleepy voice that seemed to float in from the hallway. Jinny Hungi, Jungkook, a figure still heavy-lidded with sleep, padded softly into the kitchen. He was dressed in oversized pajamas that swallowed his frame, his hair a rumpled mess. Without a word, he simply wrapped his arms around Jin's waist from behind, burying his face into his Hung's back in a warm, comforting hug. Jin chuckled softly, his heart swelling with affection. He paused his cooking, reaching back to gently ruffle the younger boy's soft hair. "Good morning, Kookie," he murmured, his voice a gentle morning melody. "Morning, Hung," Jungkook mumbled, his voice still thick with sleep, his grip tightening for a moment. "Why are you up so early?" Jin asked, a gentle smile gracing his lips as he turned slightly to face him. Jungkook shrugged, pulling away just enough to look at Jin, his eyes still blinking slowly. "Don't know, just got up." He yawned, stretching his arms above his head. Go and freshen up then," Jin said, gesturing towards the door. With a nod, he knew Jungkook often woke early, sometimes for a burst of creativity, other times for no discernible reason at all. "Okay," Jungkook nodded, his bare feet padding softly on the cool kitchen tiles as he ambled off, disappearing from sight. Jin watched him go, a fond smile lingering on his face before he returned to his breakfast preparations. By 9:30 a.m., the dining room was bathed in the bright morning light, now a lively hub of chatter and laughter. The table overflowed with Jin's culinary creations: golden pancakes, crispy bacon, fresh fruit, steaming mugs of coffee and other drinks. The air hummed with comfortable conversation as everyone, save one, dug into the hearty spread. "Good morning, everyone," Jin announced, carrying in a fresh platter of perfectly cooked pancakes, setting them down in the center of the table. A chorus of "Good morning, Hung" greeted him. Jin took his seat, his eyes instinctively scanning the faces around the table. His brow furrowed slightly as he noticed the empty chair beside Jimin. "Jimin, where's Tae?" he asked, a subtle hint of concern entering his voice. Jimin replied, "He wasn't awake when I came down, Hung." Yoongi scoffed from across the table, a familiar grimace on his face, his gaze fixed on the empty chair. "He'll never be on time. One day, he's going to get a handful from me," he grumbled, his voice a low rumble of annoyance that was, to anyone who knew him, half serious and half fond. He picked up his coffee, taking a slow sip. "Hobie, ever the sunbeam and peacemaker," quickly interjected, pushing back his chair with a cheerful scrape. "I'll go and get him." He gave Yoongi a quick, knowing look, a light-hearted wink that silently acknowledged Yoongi's tough love act. He was already on his feet, heading towards the stairs. "Okay then, tell him to hurry up," Jin called after him, a slight worry line now visibly creasing his brow. A vague sense of unease, like a faint, discordant note, began to hum beneath the otherwise cheerful morning. A hushed silence lay over Tae's room, a stark contrast to the vibrant dining area downstairs. The curtains were still drawn, plunging the space into a soft, dreamlike gloom. Hobie gently pushed the door open, stepping inside with light, cautious steps. "Tae baby, have you not gotten up yet?" Hobie whispered, his voice soft, almost melodic. As he moved towards the bed, Tae was a barely discernible lump beneath the covers, utterly still. Hobie reached the bed, a soft smile gracing his lips as he saw the peaceful rise and fall of Tae's chest. He leaned over, his hand reaching out to gently shake Tae's shoulder. "Tae, get up, baby," he murmured. But as his hand brushed against Tae's forehead, his smile vanished. A jolt of pure alarm shot through him. Tae's skin was radiating heat, far more than just the warmth of sleep. "Hey," Hobie's voice sharpened, "are you having a fever?" Tae stirred, a painful groan escaping his lips. He blinked slowly, his eyes fluttering open, but they seemed unfocused, glassy. His voice was thick and tired, barely above a whisper. "Hung, my head is aching." Hobie's heart clenched in his chest. His hand lingered on Tae's burning forehead. "Baby, you are having a fever. Take rest, I'll come soon after." Informing the others, he started to pull his hand away, intending to rush out, but before he could fully withdraw, Tae suddenly cut him off. A sharp, desperate gasp tore from Tae's throat. His eyes widened in panic, and he clamped both hands over his mouth, stumbling out of bed with a desperate urgency, sprinting towards the washroom. The awful sounds of violent retching immediately filled the quiet room. Hobie was instantly beside him, his own instincts kicking in. He knelt on the cold tiles, one hand gently supporting Tae's forehead, the other rubbing soothing, continuous circles on his shaking back. He murmured comforting words, a soft stream of reassurance. "It's okay, baby. Just let it out. I'm here." After a few agonizing minutes, the retching finally subsided. Tae, utterly spent and trembling, sagged backward, collapsing into Hobie's embrace. His body felt like a dead weight. Hobie carefully helped him back to bed, his movements tender, as he tucked the blankets snugly around him. Seeing the alarming pale, clammy skin, the shallow, rapid breaths, and the exhaustion clouding Tae's usually vibrant face, Hobie knew he needed to act fast. He gave Tae's hand a reassuring squeeze, his eyes conveying a promise of help, before he turned and rushed out of the room, his mind already racing to call the others. Back in the dining room, the atmosphere had grown noticeably tense. The easy chatter had died down, replaced by a quiet, expectant hum. Food lay not eaten on plates as the minutes stretched on. "Why are they not here yet?" Yoongi grumbled, his patience clearly wearing thin as he tapped his fingers impatiently on the table. Namjoon, sensing the growing worry, stood up. "I'll go and take a look," he offered, already pushing his chair back. Just then, Hobie stumbled in, his face pale with urgency, his breath coming in ragged gasps. All eyes snapped to him. The instant shift in his demeanor. Alarming. "Hung," he gasped, his voice tight with distress. "Tae is having a high fever." He also vomited. A collective gasp went around the table. "What?" The word hung in the air, laced with shock and raw concern. Chairs scraped back as everyone surged to their feet. Jimin's eyes widened, a look of disbelief on his face. "He was perfectly fine till we went to sleep last night," he exclaimed, confusion warring with concern. Jin was already on his feet, his previous calm demeanor instantly replaced by a look of serious, focused concern. He was already moving towards the door. "Come, let's go to him." Yoongi, ever the practical and decisive one in a crisis, quickly barked orders. He pointed to Jungkook, who stood frozen, his face etched with worry. "Cook, go and get one of our medical bags and come to his room." "Okay, Hung," Jungkook snapped. To attention, the urgency in Yoongi's voice cutting through his shock. He sprinted off, disappearing down the hall, driven by a Sudden surge of adrenaline and concern. For his hung. The atmosphere in Tae's room was now thick with a heavy, anxious silence, broken only by quiet movements. Jin immediately sat on the edge of the bed, his hand gently stroking Tae's sweaty hair away from his flushed forehead. Hey, Tae, baby, how are you? He asked, his voice soft, brimming with concern. Tae weakly shifted, his arms reaching out. Instinctively, he buried his face into Jin's chest, his body trembling slightly, his voice a muffled, painful whimper. Hyungi, my head and stomach are hurting. Jin's touch was tender as he gently massaged Tae's temples, his fingers working soothing circles on his burning skin. It's okay, baby, it will be fine soon. He murmured, his eyes scanning Tae's face, searching for any sign of improvement, any flicker of his usual brightness. Jungkook entered the room, slightly out of breath but moving with quiet purpose, carrying a well-stocked medical bag. He gently placed it on the floor and quietly sat beside the bed, his gaze fixed on Tae, his young face a mask of profound worry. Yoongi took charge, his movements efficient. He retrieved a digital thermometer from the bag. Tae, open your mouth, he instructed, his voice firm but gentle. The next few minutes stretched into an eternity, filled with a tense silence, broken only by the soft, rhythmic beeping of the thermometer. When it finally signaled, Yoongi pulled it out, his expression grim as he read the display. It's 40 degrees Celsius, he announced, his voice low, the number hanging in the air like a heavy weight. Namjoon's eyes widened in alarm, a hand flying to his mouth in a gesture of disbelief and shock. Oh my god, he whispered. That's a lot higher. Yoongi, already focused on the next step, quickly scribbled on a small notepad, tearing off the sheet. Jimin, go and get these medicines from the medical room, he instructed, handing him the list. His tone left no room for delay. Okay, Hung, Jimin said, taking the list with a determined nod. His usual playful demeanor was completely replaced by a focused urgency as he rushed out of the room, already mentally calculating the fastest route to the medical supplies. The room was now filled with the quiet, collective resolve of a family united in concern, all eyes on their sick brother.
To be continued. That's it for today. I hope you all liked it. If you liked my story, please let me know in the comments. Subscribe and wait for the next episode.